As I was about to sign the adoption agreement for the sweet-looking girl, a bold red bullet screen suddenly flashed before my eyes. Daunt. Although the female lead is sweet, she's a love brain. Later, she'll squander the entire family fortune for the male lead. Look at that gloomy little girl in the corner. She's the future business queen villain. Although she looks scary now, just give her some love, and she'll be the ultimate home-protecting maniac. Yes, yes, yes. Don't choose the female lead. Choose the villain. This life, I want to see the villain defying her fate. The hand holding the pen paused, and my gaze passed through the crowd, landing on the little girl huddled in the corner, her eyes as fierce as a wolf cub. I put down the pen and said to the director with a smile, "I want that child too." The director was clearly startled by my decision. She followed my finger, a troubled expression on her face. Anin is a bit eccentric. A family adopted her before, but they sent her back in less than 2 days, saying she stayed up all night staring at them, making them feel uneasy. Are you sure you don't want to consider Tang Tang? Tang Tang was the sweet little girl. Hearing this, she blinked her big eyes, looking at me innocently, indeed very endearing. But at that moment, the bullet screen exploded. Green tea alert. Tang Tang is already starting to play the victim. In her previous life, she used this trick to make her adoptive mother drive her biological daughter out of the house. Anin lacks a sense of security. She's keeping watch to protect her family. Those stupid people don't understand. I knew what to do. So this was a mixed script of true and false heiresses, and dominating CEO falls in love with me. I walked over to Anin and crouched down. She suddenly looked up, her eyes, black and white, filled with vigilance, like a small beast ready to bite. "I won't go with you," she said in a hoarse voice, with a coldness that didn't belong to her age. I took out a white rabbit candy from my pocket, peeled off the wrapper, and held it to her mouth. "Come home with me, and if anyone bullies you, I'll help you beat them up, including that crybaby over there." Anin froze, staring intently at the candy, her throat moving. And Tang Tang, because of my crybaby comment, instantly had tears welling up in her eyes. Holy crap, this mom is so cool. I love it. She handled both of them in one sentence. This is the kind of mom a female lead script should have. I smiled and stuffed the candy into Anin's mouth and casually patted Tong Tong's head. "What are you crying for? You're coming with me too. The house just happens to need 2 lively kids." The adoption procedures went smoothly. My husband, who was a man of few words, but definitely obedient, and I each took one by the hand, bringing these 2 children with vastly different personalities home. Our house was a detached villa with a small yard. Wow, what a big house. Tang Tang spun around excitedly as soon as she entered, like a happy butterfly. Anin, however, just stood silently at the door, clutching her old school bag tightly, her eyes warily surveying the surroundings. Look at Anin's startled response. She must have suffered a lot in the past. It breaks my heart. Tong Tong's adaptability is unmatched, but it feels a bit heartless. I crouched down to get them slippers. "This is your home from now on. There are 2 south-facing bedrooms on the 2nd floor. You can choose for yourselves or sleep together." "I want the pink one," Tang Tang said without hesitation, taking the lead. Anin pursed her lips and said softly, "I don't care. I can sleep in the storage room." I frowned and flicked Anin's forehead gently. "Don't talk nonsense. We don't have a storage room for people to sleep in. Since Tang Tang chose pink, the remaining blue one is yours. If you don't like either, we'll call the renovation team to demolish and redo it tomorrow." Anin covered her forehead, looking at me in disbelief. It seemed that no one had ever treated her so roughly before, yet with a strange intimacy. That night, I deliberately didn't turn off the hallway light. When I got up in the middle of the night for a drink, I noticed that Anin's door was ajar. Through the gap, I saw that the small figure was not sleeping on the soft bed, but was huddled on the floor with a blanket, facing the door, clutching a sharpened pencil in her hand. Sob, sob, sob. She's protecting herself and also protecting this new home. I sighed, pretended not to see, and just said loudly as I passed by, "Honey, did you check the doors and windows? Our security system is connected to the police station. Not even a fly can get in. The body in the room visibly relaxed a bit. The days passed in a flurry of chaos. Tang Tang, with her sweet words and endearing charm, quickly won the hearts of the surrounding neighbors. Anin, on the other hand, was always alone, her eyes filled with gloom, and the neighbors secretly called her the weird kid. Until that weekend, a month later, I was simmering soup in the kitchen when a loud crash suddenly echoed from the living room. It was followed by Tong Tong's heart-wrenching cries. I rushed out to see my favorite blue and white porcelain vase shattered on the floor, Tang Tang sitting on the ground, crying like a rain-soaked pear blossom, a cut on her finger. And Anin stood beside her, holding a shard in her hand, her expression blank. What happened? I asked sternly. The comments section instantly exploded. Here it comes. The iconic scene. In the original story, the female lead broke the vase herself and blamed it on the female supporting character, leading to the female supporting character being confined for 3 days and completely turning to the dark side. Mom, you have to be discerning. Don't be fooled by Tong Tong's tears. My heart sank as I looked at Tang Tang. Tang Tang sobbed and pointed at Anin. It was Gidge. Gidge pushed me, and the vase broke. I don't blame Gidge, Mom. Please don't scold her. A perfect display of using retreat as an advance. I turned to Anin. Did you push her? Anin tightened her grip on the shard, blood seeping from her palm, and she sneered. If I said I didn't, would you believe me? Her eyes held despair, as if she already foresaw her fate. I walked over, grabbed Anin's hand, pried open her fingers, and threw away the shard. Then I took out bandages from the first aid kit and put one on Anin first, then on Tang Tang. After doing all this, I slowly opened my mouth. We have security cameras installed in the house, right next to the TV. It's a 360-degree, no blind spot camera. The air instantly froze. Tong Tong's crying stopped abruptly, her face ashen. Anin looked up sharply, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. In reality, we didn't have any security cameras installed. It was just a small decoration. But that was enough. I looked at Tang Tang, my tone serious. I'll give you one more chance. Tell me again what happened. Tang Tang trembled and lowered her head. It was me. I wanted to get the candy jar from above, and I accidentally knocked it down. I was afraid Mom would scold me. I sighed and touched Anin's head, feeling her body stiffen. Anin, why didn't you defend yourself just now? Anin turned her head away, her voice muffled. No one would believe me anyway. I believe you. In this house, as long as you say you didn't, I'll believe you. But if I find out who's lying, it won't be as simple as breaking a vase. That night, Anin took the initiative to sit on the sofa for the first time. Although she was far away from me, her gaze followed me the whole time. The comments section erupted in cheers. Awesome. Mom is so powerful. A crack has finally appeared in Anin's defenses. Tong Tong's personality needs to be corrected or she'll really be a menace in the future. To correct Tong Tong's personality and to untangle Anin's emotional knots, I implemented a strict family point system. Doing housework, getting high scores, being honest and trustworthy all added points, while lying and shirking responsibility deducted double points. Points could be exchanged for wishes. At first, Tang Tang was unaccustomed to it and always tried to get away with things by being charming. But I was strict and impartial, even pulling my husband to form an anti-charm alliance. Anin, on the other hand, became a point-accumulating maniac. She silently swept the floor, washed the dishes, and consistently got top marks in exams. Half a year later, Anin came to me with 100 points she had accumulated. I want to redeem a wish. Tell me. She hesitated for a long time before whispering, I want to change the lock on my room to one that can be locked from the inside. My heart ached. This child still lacks a sense of security. Approved. Not only will we change the lock, but Mom will also get you a complete Lego castle. Okay. Anin's eyes lit up, and the corners of her mouth turned up slightly, revealing the first faint smile she had given since coming to this family. That smile, though fleeting, was as stunning as the first thaw of snow and ice. As for Tang Tang, after I deducted her points, 3 times and locked her beloved doll in the closet right before her eyes, she finally learned to be good. She began clumsily helping Inen wipe the table, often making things worse, but at least she no longer shirked responsibility at every turn. One time, I overheard the 2 children muttering on the balcony. Tang Tang, sister, I don't understand this question. Can you teach me? I'll give you half of my points through the gifting function. Inen said coldly. Who cares about your points? Give it here. You're so stupid. You can't even do this. Although her tone was disdainful, she never stopped explaining. Watching this scene, I actually felt like crying. Who says a vicious female supporting character and a white lotus female lead can't coexist peacefully? Isn't this quite harmonious? Time flew by like a white horse flashing past a crack, and 9 years passed in a blink of an eye. Both children were in high school. Inen had grown into aloof, untouchable beauty, a well-known academic goddess at school, but her personality remained unapproachable. Tang Tang, on the other hand, had blossomed into a graceful and lovely young woman, a recognized school beauty, always surrounded by a group of boys eager to please her. That evening, during dinner, the comments suddenly began to sound alarms frantically. Alert! Alert! The male lead is about to appear. That scumbag Gu Ye, who made Tang Tang act like a love-struck idiot and ultimately bankrupted the whole family, is transferring to our school. In the original plot, Gu Ye first hit on Inen, but after finding her boring, he went on to flirt with Tang Tang. The 2 sisters turned against each other for him. In the end, Inen turned evil and sought revenge, and Tang Tang ran away for love. The hand holding my chopsticks trembled, and the braised pork almost fell on the table. Gu Ye, that legendary crown prince of the capital circle, a walking hormone. I took a deep breath and looked at my 2 daughters, who were huddled together watching a variety show. I absolutely cannot let this rat turd spoil the 2 pots of good kanji I have worked so hard to raise. I clear my throat. Ahem, I heard a new student is transferring to your school tomorrow. Tang Tang, chewing on her chopsticks, said, Yeah, I heard he's super handsome and a rich second generation. All the girls in school are going crazy over it. And then didn't even look up. Boring. I'd rather do 2 more physics problems than waste time on that. I nodded in satisfaction and put the biggest rib on Inen's plate. Inen is right. Men will only slow down your sword drawing speed. Especially those who are handsome and rich. They are mostly philandering scumbags. Tang Tang pouted. Mom, you're being prejudiced. What if it's true love? I sneered. True love? Can true love be eaten? Can it help you get into college? Can it buy you a house? Tang Tang stuck out her tongue and dared not retort. But I knew that the throbbing of adolescence could not be suppressed by a few words. In order to guard against any possible dangers, I decided to take up my old job again, to volunteer at school. Under the guise of the Parent-Teacher Association, I placed many eyes and ears in the school. It wasn't long before I received information. That Gu Ye was indeed a troublemaker. As soon as he arrived, he bought out the school's convenience store and offered drinks to everyone in the class, except Inen. His reason was that Inen's gaze made him uncomfortable. On the way home from school, I hid in the car, watching the school gate from afar. I saw a boy in a gaudily altered school uniform, carrying his backpack on one shoulder, blocking Tang Tang's path. That signature charming smile made my fist clench. The comments were also screaming. That's the smile. Although it's cheesy, it's absolutely lethal to high school girls. Tang Tang is blushing. Oh no, the plot is about to begin. Gu Ye put one hand on the wall, giving Tang Tang a wall slam. Hey, sweetie, I heard you're the school beauty. How about being my girlfriend? Tang Tang had clearly never seen anything like this before, and she was scared like a little rabbit, her face as red as a ripe apple. You move away. What if I don't? Gu Ye got closer and closer. Just as I was about to push open the car door and rush out, a school bag whizzed past. Bang! It accurately hit Gu Ye on the back of the head. Gu Ye staggered from the blow, clutching his head and cursing. Who the hell doesn't want to live anymore? And then walked out of the corner with a cold face, still holding a thick 5 years of college entrance examination, 3 years of simulation practice book in her hand. She walked to Tang Tang and pulled her behind her. I'm her sister. Want to chase her? Finish this practice book first. And if the accuracy rate is below 90%, get lost. Gu Iya laughed in anger. Who do you think you are? Meddling so much. And then looked at him with cold eyes, as if he were trash. I'm your dad. The whole place was silent. Even I was stunned. When did my usually quiet bookworm and then learn to curse? The comment section was full of WTF. Queen, I kneel before you. This is the right way to do it. I ship this CP. Cold and elegant older sister ex silly and cute younger sister. Gu Iya was obviously enraged by Anin. From that day on, he began to target Anin, stuffing dead mice in her desk, deliberately tripping her during PE class, spreading rumors. All kinds of childish and vicious tricks emerged endlessly. But I found that Anin didn't care about any of it. She threw the dead mice into the trash can without changing her expression, got up and brushed off the dust after being tripped, and didn't even give the rumors a glance. On the contrary, Tang Tang was furious. Several times, I saw Tang Tang hiding under the covers and crying, not because she was wronged, but because she felt sorry for her sister. Mom, that Gu Iya is too bad. I'm going to tell the teacher. Tang Tang complained to me with red eyes. I patted her head. The teacher wouldn't dare to manage these rich kids too strictly. But don't worry, your sister knows what she's doing. Sure enough, Anin's counterattack came soon. During the midterm exam, Gu Iya vowed to score higher than Anin and make Anin call him dad in public. As a result, when the scores came out, Anin topped the list with a perfect score, while Gu Iya was last. Anin took the report card and walked to Gu Iya's desk in front of the whole class. Call it. Gu Iya's face turned liver-colored. You cheated. Anin smiled contemptuously and casually picked up Gu Iya's test paper, glancing at it. The last question, you used the wrong gravitational acceleration. You can't even remember the formula. Is your brain filled with cement? Gu Iya completely exploded. He suddenly stood up and raised his hand to hit someone. At this moment, Tang Tang rushed up and stood in front of Anin. You're not allowed to hit my sister. The slap didn't land, because Anin grabbed Gu Iya's wrist with a backhand and executed a beautiful shoulder throw. Bang! Gu Iya lay on the ground, questioning his life. Comments. So cool. Anin actually practices judo. With this level of martial arts, she's more than capable of protecting her sister. Gu Iya, this weakling, makes me laugh. After this incident, Gu Iya became completely docile. But it seemed like he awakened some strange attribute. He stopped causing trouble and instead started following Anin around all day. Anjia, how do you solve this problem? Anjia, want some water? Anjia, please take me as your lackey. I was dumbfounded. Why isn't this plot over yet? The comments section was filled with peace. It's over. The male lead has been abused into an M. He's fallen in love with Anin. No way. Anin should be beautiful on her own. Men, get out. In the evening, I called my 2 daughters to the living room for a family meeting. Regarding the issue of early love, Mom feels it's necessary to emphasize it again. Before I could finish, Anin interrupted me. Mom, don't worry. Gu Iya's IQ will lower my genetic level. I have no interest in him. I breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Tang Tang. Tang Tang twisted her fingers and said softly, Actually, I don't think Gu Iya is that annoying anymore. He even helped me carry my books. My heart tightened. As expected, the inertia of the plot is powerful. Even though Gu Iya was being treated like a dog by Anin, Tang Tang was still moved by him. I said earnestly, Tang Tang, being touched isn't the same as being in love. He helped you carry your books probably because he wants to please your sister and is using you as a stepping stone. Upon hearing this, Anin frowned. He wouldn't dare. Tang Tang was stunned, and a hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes. Is that so? Whether it is or isn't, your mission at this stage is to study. What kind of handsome guys won't you find after you get into college? I followed up while the iron was hot. Both children nodded, but I could tell that a seed had been planted in Tang Tang's heart. In order to completely nip this seed in the bud, I decided to solve the problem at its source. Investigated Gu Iya's Bakgrund. Sure enough, His family situation was a mess. His dad was a nouveau riche, flying around the world, and his mom was from a prestigious family, but they had long been estranged. Gu Yi's personality was entirely for the sake of getting attention. This day after school, Gu Yi was waiting at the school gate again, this time holding a large bouquet of roses, still going after Anin. Anin, be my girlfriend. I'm serious. The surrounding students were all cheering. Anin was expressionless and about to refuse. A black Maybach stopped by the roadside. The car window lowered, and a woman wearing sunglasses with an elegant temperament leaned out. Gu Yi, what are you doing? It was Gu Yi's mother. Gu Yi instantly became like a duck whose neck had been grabbed, cowering. Mom, why are you here? Gu's mother took off her sunglasses. Her gaze swept over Anin and finally landed on me. Actually, this was a rescue I called for. Yesterday, I contacted Gu's mother, exaggerating Gu Yi's behavior at school and his harassment of the two girls. I emphasized that if he didn't focus on his studies, he definitely wouldn't be able to inherit the family business in the future. Gu's mother was a smart person and understood immediately. She got out of the car in her high heels, walked up to Gu Yi, and grabbed his ear. You're not learning well at such a young age, and learning from your dad to do these flashy things? Get home with me. Gu Yi wailed as he was stuffed into the car. Before leaving, Gu Mama nodded slightly to me. I'm sorry for the trouble we've caused. If he dares to harass you again, call the police directly. Watching the Maybach drive away, I breathed a long sigh of relief. This hurdle, at last, was over. The barrage of comments cheered. As expected of a mother, her trick of using someone else to do the dirty work is amazing. Gu Mama is also reasonable. It seems not everyone is a villain. Gu Yi's disappearance brought our lives back on track. The year of the college entrance exam, and then unsurprisingly won the top score in the province for science. The admissions offices of various famous universities blew up my phone, and some even waited at our doorstep. While Tang Tang wasn't as heaven-defying as her sister, she still performed exceptionally well under Anin's devilish tutoring and was admitted to a top art school in the city. On the day of filling out college applications, Anin chose finance without hesitation. I glanced at the barrage comment that predicted she would be a business queen villain, and a sense of pride actually arose in my heart. Anin, are you sure? Doing business is very tiring. Anin twirled the pen in her hand, her eyes firm. I don't mind being tired. I want to make money. Why earn so much money? Tang Tang asked while munching on watermelon, Anin glanced at her and said in a faint tone, so that even if you're a brainless idiot in the future, you can walk sideways in a pool full of crocodiles. Tang Tang was stunned for a moment, then burst into tears of gratitude, getting watermelon juice all over Anin. A pink bubble of comments floated by. Is this the older sister the country owes me? I love her. Anin is so clear-headed. This life, she's not for men. She's protecting her sister. Although Tang Tang is being spoiled into a little waste, haha. During her 4 years of university, Anin was practically invincible. While other students were still worrying about living expenses, she had already used the principle I gave her to fight her way in and out of the stock market, and she established her own venture capital firm in her junior year. Tang Tang, on the other hand, thrived in art school. Her sweet, first love face landed her the role of the second female lead in a youth idol drama before she even graduated. I was intentionally or unintentionally observing that kid named Gu Yi. I heard he was sent abroad to gild himself, and there was no news for several years. Until the year the two sisters graduated, that previous nightmare warning sounded again. That day was the listing and bell-ringing ceremony for Anin's company. I wore a custom-made dress, watching Anin on stage in a sharp black suit, her eyes as sharp as knives, and I was moved to tears. Just then, a blood-red, extra-large comet floated across my vision. High-energy alert. Gu Yi is back. Today, the next plot is Gu Yi uses Tang Tang to steal business secrets to swallow Anin's company, leading to Anin's company going bankrupt and even being imprisoned with huge debts. My heart clenched, and my gaze instantly swept across the venue. Sure enough, in the corner, I saw a familiar figure. Having shed his youthful awkwardness, Gu Ye was wearing a branded suit, swirling champagne in his hand, and staring at Anin, who had just stepped off the stage, with greed and calculation in his eyes. Even worse, Tang Dang was lifting her skirt and running towards him with a look of surprise. Gu Ye, you're back. Gu Ye gave that signature charming smile and put his arm around Tong Tong's waist. I came back to take back what belongs to me. The comments instantly exploded. Tang Tang, don't trust him. He's back for revenge. It's over. It's over. Her love brain is about to activate again. Is this plot really irreversible? In the following half-month, Gu Ye launched a crazy pursuit of Tang Dang, sending luxury cars, chartering yachts, covering the set with 999 roses. This combination of punches would confuse any girl. I was so anxious that I had blisters on my lips, and I was about to intervene again when Anin held my hand. Mom, don't worry. Anin was sitting on the sofa looking at documents, wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses on her nose, exuding an atmosphere of refined scum. Oh no, domineering CEO. Your sister's about to be snatched away by a wolf, and you're not worried? Anin pushed up her glasses, and a meaningful arc appeared at the corner of her mouth. That idiot is an idiot, but I brought him up, after all. Besides, she pointed to the tablet on the coffee table, which displayed the recent movements of Gu Ye's family business. The Gu family capital chain has broken recently, and they urgently need to acquire a promising tech company to fill the hole. He's looking for Tang Dang just to take a shortcut. Then you're not going to do anything? A hunter only pulls the trigger when the prey thinks they're about to succeed. Anin casually turned a page of the document. I want to see how much this wolf cub has improved abroad these past few years. The barrage was shocked. Holy crap. Is this really the villain I know? This is on the 5th floor. Anin is so cool. But I'm still worried about Tang Dang. After all, the original plot aura is too strong. The climax of the plot happened on a stormy night. I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and saw Tang Dang sneaking into Anin's study. That's where Anin's company's most core bidding proposal was kept, the trump card for tomorrow's bidding conference. I held my breath and hid around the corner of the stairs. I saw Tang Dang open the safe, take out the document, and photograph it with her phone. Then, she made a phone call, her voice trembling but with a hint of determination. Hello, I got it. As long as I give this to you, will you really marry me and inject capital into my sister's company to help her overcome her difficulties, right? Gu Ye's triumphant voice came from the other end of the phone. Of course, baby. I love you the most. As long as I get this, we'll get married. Seeing this scene, my heart turned cold. Could it be that so many years of education are ultimately no match for the coercive force of the plot? The barrage was already in tears. No. Tang Tang, you confused idiot. It's over, it's all over, and his hard work is going to be ruined. The next day, at the bidding conference, Gu Ye, representing the Gu Group, confidently presented their proposal. Not only was the price $1 lower than Anin's bottom line, but even the core technical parameters were completely targeted at Anin's weaknesses. President Anin, I concede. Gu Ye walked up to Anin and smiled smugly. It seems that Lady Luck is on my side this time. Anin looked at him expressionlessly, then looked at Tang Tang, standing behind Gu Ye. Tang Tang lowered her head, not daring to look at her sister. Is that so? Anin said coldly. Young Master Gu, some things look like pies, but they're actually iron plates. Just as Gu Ye was about to sign and take the project, the screen in the venue suddenly lit up. What was displayed was not the bid-winning announcement, but a video. In the video, Gu Ye was holding a young model and making wild remarks in a luxury mansion abroad. Once I get that stupid woman to get me her sister's company's core code, I can sell it and fill the hole in my dad's company. Then I'll kick those two sisters to the curb. Who will even remember who they are? The whole place was in an uproar. Gu Ye's face turned pale instantly, and he turned his head sharply to look at Tang Tang. You tricked me. Tang Tang slowly raised her head, and her once innocent eyes now shone with a cunning light. She took a voice recorder out of her bag and pressed play. Inside was the whole process of Gu Ye inducing her to steal the document last night. Sorry, Gu Ye, Tang Tang smiled sweetly, revealing two small tiger teeth. Acting is my profession. After all, I won the Best Newcomer Award. It turned out that the so-called core secret was just fake data that Unin had specially prepared to lure him in. Not only that, but the fake data was also embedded with a tracking Trojan horse. Once Guya entered it into the Gu Group's system, Unin could reverse track the evidence of Gu's years of false accounting and tax evasion. The police are on their way. Unin stood up, straightened her clothes, and looked down at Guya, who was slumped on the ground. You can mess with me, but if you mess with my family, have you thought about how you want to die? At this moment, Unin's aura was so powerful that I wanted to kneel down and call her queen. The barrage went completely crazy. So satisfying. I love the all-villain script. Tong Tong's acting is amazing. This is a black to white to black reversal. The older sister sets up the trap. The younger sister is the bait. These sisters are invincible. Gu Iya went in. The Gu family went bankrupt. Taking advantage of the situation, Unin acquired Gu's high-quality assets at a low price, expanding her business empire once again and becoming a veritable business queen. And Tang Tang, due to her witty performance in this incident, was widely reported by the media, becoming a new generation starlet with intelligence and beauty, receiving a flood of movie and TV offers. On a weekend afternoon, the sunlight streamed into the courtyard. My husband and I lay on rocking chairs sunbathing, watching the scene not far away. Unin was sitting on a swing, meditating with her eyes closed, while Tang Tang chattered beside her, peeling grapes for her to eat, occasionally popping the one she ruined into her own mouth. Sis, that newly crowned best actor wants to take me out for dinner. Do you think I should go? Have you checked his background? Does he have any bad habits? Is he trying to ride your coattails? Unin didn't even open her eyes. Checked. He has a clean record, and he's even your fan. Then bring him back. I'll interview him. Yes, ma'am. I shook my head with a smile, watching this scene. Just then, the red text that had been floating in front of my eyes for over a decade suddenly turned into a soft gold. Congratulations, host. You have successfully rewritten the tragic ending for everyone. Unin has not become a cold-blooded villain. She has a weakness, but also armor. Tang Tang has not become a love-struck cannon fodder. She has learned to discern sincerity and possesses the courage to protect her family. This is the best ending. The golden words slowly dissipated, turning into starlight that melted into the afternoon breeze. I picked up my teacup and took a gentle sip. Husband, do you think we should start preparing dowries for the two girls? My husband rolled over, muttering, "What's the rush? Whoever is worthy of our daughters will have to get past me first." Looking at these two children, so different in personality, yet so dependent on each other, I knew, no matter what the future holds, as long as they are together, they will be invincible. After all, these are the villain and female lead that I raised with my own hands.